everybody, and welcome to Force Comic News. My name is Chris, and I am very sick. And this is...
Oh, okay. Yeah, it's Mike. We were talking previously to we started this, and I wasn't expecting that. Hey everyone, it's Chris's.
Nasally.
Yeah, it's just me all the time. It's Chris's birthday today, so he decided to celebrate it with his best pal recording a podcast. I don't think a better way to have it.
So I don't know if you saw this yet, but I got a birthday present from my father.
Is that a giant Darth Vader behind you?
It's this giant Darth Vader. Also.
Oh man, that's awesome. So for people that listen to the podcast on iTunes, Chris moved out of the way, and there's like a midget Darth Vader. It's probably like if a small child put on a Darth Vader costume.
It's taller than both of my girlfriends.
I like how you're like, my father gave me this, as you point to Darth Vader. My father had the power. You have that power too. Anyways, hey, speaking of that, do you remember the trailer for The Force Awakens where it was Luke talking, saying, "My father had the power. You have that power too"? Where was that in the movie? Right?
Oh yeah. Oh, wasn't that the one where they did he did the voiceover?
Yeah. It was epic as hell. But speaking of Star Wars trailers, apparently there's supposed to be one coming like October something during Monday Night Football. I think it might be next Monday night.
So
it's supposed to be.
Save your money for pre-sale tickets.
Yes, because I'm going to buy like 30 like I did last year. Yeah, when Fandango kept crashing, I bought like 40 different viewings, and my card got charged, and I was like, I had to cancel and keep buying. So it was, and then like if you wanted to buy and change it, like if you refunded your tickets, the Fandango app would still show the seats were taken, so it was all messed up.
Yeah, that was a fun morning.
Yeah, hopefully they fixed it, because Star Wars really just like has to just fuck everybody's day up. Anyways, we got some stuff to talk about. It's been a couple weeks here, I guess. Oh, I saw a couple of movies. I see in the notes that it says I saw a couple of movies. So now I remember. Yeah, so the last couple of weeks, I went and saw It, and I went and saw Kingsman. So I guess I'll talk about them in the order that they came out. Yeah, so went and saw It, and it was pretty fantastic. Did you see it?
No, I haven't seen anything recently.
Okay.
If you can't tell from behind me, we have officially moved. And,
yeah, so he's in a different section where it's kind of weird now.
So I haven't been able to get out to the movies at all.
Okay, well, that's fair enough. All right, well, let me give you the rundown here without too many spoilers. It is a movie, for anybody that doesn't know, is a Stephen King movie, and it did crazy at the box office. It's like the biggest grossing. It broke a few records. R-rated movie, horror movie. It's Stephen King's highest grossing movie, which to me it feels like it's the Shining of this era, because people still talk about The Shining, but I think they'll still be talking about it for years to come. So let's just talk about it. Every level of this movie was first off, I give it like a 9 out of 10 for horror films. And that's just because I feel really bad giving any movie a 10 out of 10. I just feel like it's unachievable. Anyways, we won't get into that discussion. But that's a discussion for like a philosophical
let's talk about
podcast.
Our rating system.
Yeah. So the cast was amazing. Like, you know how we always like shit on child actors, like ever since the kid from Star Wars, poor kid. I'm just not. So like, I think it was Stranger Things got me back into it had me believe that, you know, kids could be good actors. And, you know, the kid who plays Will in Stranger Things plays one of the main characters in It, and he's fantastic. He just plays like and it's cool because like they depict all these, like, I think they're like 13 in the movie. It's an R-rated film though, so I mean, you have like the 13-year-old kids saying like fuck and like call, you know, like talking about banging each other's moms and stuff, and I was like, man, we used to do this when I was looking at like like you'd be sitting around the lunch table like, hey Mike, what'd you do this weekend? And like, oh, nothing. Like, oh, I fucked your mom. It's like that's just what they would do back in the day.
Yeah, that's being a 13-year-old.
Oh, I don't really know how. This is like in a group of guy friends. That was just what they did in high school and middle school. That was just like your mom jokes were everywhere. Yeah, so they have that whole interaction. The kids are fantastic. The Skarsgård that plays the clown is terrifying. That plays Pennywise the clown. They did a great job with the makeup. He is like. He is scary, and I heard like they didn't show the kids what he looked like until like their first scene with him in the movie. So like, and I think the first scene they recorded is when you see in the trailer where it like comes out of the projection screen where they're like watching that movie, and that was like the first time they saw him. So all their reactions are pretty legit in that scene. It's great. It's got all the best things about horror movies. It's not just a jump scare after a jump scare. There's reasons for the jump scares, and there's a lot of good plot building throughout the movie. And then we find out it's part one, so they're going to come back and do part two, where they all in the book they come back as adults. 20 when they say at the end of the movie, 27 years later we'll come back, and if he's still alive, we'll fuck him up again. Yeah, you stay dead, clown. Like we meant it. And it's great. It's a movie about a gang of kids that are stronger as a group rather than an individual. It's got all these great meaningful life lessons, but then there's like a killer clown trying to kill these children. So yeah, it's a little weird seeing like all these like gruesome, gory things happening to children. But yeah, it's a fantastic movie. I recommend it for anyone who's a fan of horror, any fan of Stephen King movies. And I'm so glad that like Stephen King is back in it, man. Like he's making a comeback. Well, his material is, at least. So now we get all those movies that were kind of like cheesy and outdated are getting revamped, and we always talk about how like, oh yeah, we don't need another fucking reboot, but these movies might do well if they get rebooted.
Yeah.
And we're going to ignore The Dark Tower. We don't talk about that. We don't talk about that movie.
I forgot that came out.
Yeah, me too. But anyways, do you have any input there? Because I know you didn't see the movie. I'm sure you'll talk about it when you want to see it, right?
Yeah, I want to see it. The biggest hurdle there is that my girlfriend hates clowns, like with a passion.
Oh, yeah, that's I remember this now.
Yeah, so if I see it, I have to find time to see it with just me, and in the theaters, that's not going to happen. I don't mind going to theaters by myself. I actually kind of prefer it in most cases, but in the theaters, that won't happen just because there's too much that I'd rather see right now in theaters, including the next movie.
Oh yeah, yeah.
About. But
yeah,
it's about when it comes out on DVD and I have to rent it and be like, all right, yeah, nobody can be in this room for a little while because the kids can't watch it. And but yeah, I do want to see it.
I'm sorry. So I have Facebook pulled up right now. For anyone that doesn't know, like Chris sends me a Facebook message with the notes. Because all I really do is talk on here. He does all the hard work for everybody. Are you smelling a candle? What the fuck? He's like mid-smelling a candle while I'm talking. The face he made is like, that is not a nice smelling candle.
It's actually a great smelling candle. It's just
okay.
Weird because there's
sticker
off, so it's all sticky here, and I was just like,
oh my god. Hey, speaking of sticky, this is what I'm talking about right now. Hold on. If you can't tell, there hasn't been a whole lot of crazy trailers dropping or anything, so we're just kind of bullshitting right now. So I'm reading the notes in your Facebook message, and like Facebook does this top trending thing now because they're trying to be cool, and obviously the first trending article is something stupid about Trump, and then the second one is a Washington Post article that says semen contaminated flutes might have been given to children.
What?
In a California school. What the fuck? What? It's definitely a clickbait article. I can't click it, but that is the title of the article. It says, "Semen contaminated flutes." Like, I'm guessing the recorders that you used to have when you were a kid in school.
Yeah.
Have been given to children in a California school. What? How sick of a person? That's the horror movie I want to see. Oh my god, what a monster. That's worse than eating children. Like, you can be a clown eating children, and it's still not as fucked up as semen contaminated flutes being given to children. Man.
If we start planning out this movie, it's going to get real NC-17 real fast.
Yeah. So we're just going to end it right there, folks. That's the show for the day. We'll see you next week. Anyways, sorry, I had to go off that segment because that just, like, it's right next to the message, and it just caught, like, you don't typically see the word semen on Facebook. It's just, that's what caught me off guard. All right. Okay, so we'll talk about Kingsman now. I went and saw Kingsman last week. And I'm trying to think if there's any semen jokes. I don't think so. I was trying to segue it into Kingsman, but didn't really work out. Yeah, so, again, with the, this movie dropped, and then the critics were kind of shitting on it, and then you see all these articles coming out again that are like, oh, is Rotten Tomatoes ruining movies, or critics ruining movies? Listen, if you really liked the first Kingsman, you're really going to like the second Kingsman. That's all I have to tell you. Don't look at the critics' reviews because they're weighing it as its own separate movie. It says Kingsman 2, yeah, but they're going to weight it as like, oh, it's an original idea. Is it going to be something new and innovative? No, it's just Kingsman again. But it's good. Like, it's again, I give this movie like an 8 out of 10. I would probably give the first Kingsman like a 9 out of 10 because that was something I haven't seen before. But again, you're just building upon this universe. I really hope. I think that it made enough money to hopefully get a third one here. It was just over the top ridiculous. The Statesmen were amazing. Anything with Jeff Bridges I'll watch. He is just over the top, fantastic. The Statesmen have a little more fun because instead of being like suit tailors like the Kingsmen are, they just make whiskey. So
oh, nice.
Yeah, they're just drinking whiskey all the time. There's a lot of awesome things that it's just cool to see. Like, you want more of this universe, you want it to expand, and they did it in a good way. It's over the top, like Mark Miller would have had it. If I could almost say, oh yeah, this would definitely be a sequel in the comics to what Mark Miller had. The overall plot is really political, and not political, but it's just it's kind of a political issue, and it's just something that I could see Mark Miller being like, oh hell yeah, we're gonna do this. Yeah, it's great. I have nothing bad to say about it. It was a fun, enjoyable movie. I paid my $10 and I got exactly what I wanted out of the movie. So go see it. And everybody's fantastic. The whole cast, the crew. Elton John was fantastic in the movie. That's all I'm going to say. You got to see it. Elton John had a lot of screen time, and I'm not upset about that at all.
It's 100% on the to-do list.
Yeah.
It was actually really depressing because I went to go look at what was in theaters, just as a tease to myself. And I went and looked, and not only was that in, but on the same day, the new Lego movie was in theaters. Yeah,
and I want to talk about that really quick. I don't know what happened. Everybody's saying that so if anybody didn't know, the new Lego movie, which is part of I'm pretty sure it's part of the same development as like the Lego movie, then the Lego Batman, and then Lego Ninjago, which I think the first issue here with the movie didn't make enough money this opening weekend. We had it open next to Kingsman 2, which is a terrible idea. Because even though it's rated R, you're still losing that fan base of kids that like their parents are like, psh.
They're saying, you know what though? What? It's the same fan base.
Yeah,
it is. It's me. I'm the fan base of that, and it's like.
And what are you gonna go see though? It's if it was Lego Batman, I probably would go see it over Kingsman. But like Lego Ninjago, and I think that's another problem too because Ninjago is more of like a newer thing. Because when I was a kid playing with Legos, and I think the average age of the fan base for that Lego movie was like 20s and 30s. They just had Ninja. They didn't have Ninjago. So I think the problem was they could have just called it the Lego Ninja movie. and I think they would have gotten more people. I don't know that. Yeah, and I think it was poor. Yeah,
Ninjago as a brand didn't hit until we were probably you were probably like late middle school, and that was high school.
Yeah, and it was like by that point, I really wasn't playing with Legos anymore. Yeah, and I was really surprised to see that it came out. I didn't see the only trailer I ever saw for that movie was before I saw Lego Batman, which was like the beginning of the summer, I think.
Yeah.
It was, so I think it was poorly advertised. They thought, oh, we could. I think they got a little ahead of themselves, thinking, hey, these movies have been doing great. Let's just not. We'll just say, slap Lego and Ninjago on it, and people will go see it. I'm not saying it's good or bad. I'm sure it's a really funny movie. It looked really good from the previews. I went and saw Kingsman. I literally didn't even know it was in the theater. I had no idea. I went to the theater, left, and I didn't even know it was there at all. Yeah, so I want to see that too. If I see that, we'll talk about it. All right. Okay, so this awesome trailer came out. And man, it was exactly what I wanted out of a Punisher trailer. So the Punisher trailer came out for the Netflix show. After watching that show, I was like, I don't give a shit about any of these other shows. I just want the Punisher show, and I want it now. I don't think they gave you a release date yet, did they?
I don't remember them.
I think they're about to, and then they like teased it. Like it's like Netflix. The show's done already. Just release it. Yeah. So cool things about the trailer. Well, first off, Frank Castle doesn't give a shit about anything. Just doesn't. Yeah. As he should. Yeah. The trailer was done to Metallica's One, which was awesome. You see the whole tragic story of his family dying and then him taking vengeance and then just doesn't stop killing people. It's awesome. He looks perfect. The part where he's like just shooting through the that like cement block and like screaming, that was just like, man, they picked a good guy to play Punisher.
Yeah. I was very happy with that, the choice to play Punisher. I also really liked that we got they changed the origin a little bit, where necessary as it is, where he's obviously no longer a Vietnam vet. He is a Iraqi vet.
Yeah. Yeah, just to be a little more with the times.
Yeah, and I will be interested to see more of him. I hope there's multiple episodes of him in Iraq and what the trauma he's been through, and possibly some insight into like PTSD and how that works with the Punisher. Like, I think there's some really cool modern ideas they can go with when it comes to the Punisher that they tend to stay away from because he's just such a cool figure, and it's easy to just like shoot, bang, bang, bad guys.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm really looking forward to the show, though.
Yeah. So I mean, I think it's gonna be really good. Everybody loved him in Daredevil, so Chris is dying, so we gotta get this episode done.
Yeah, it's gonna be a short one.
Russell Tovey, the Ray, in Arrow crossover. I gotta look up who Russell Tovey is. The name is not ringing a bell.
Does so much prep for the show.
Yeah, I know.
So they announced that they're doing. Obviously, they're going to do another Arrowverse crossover with all 4 shows.
Yeah,
and if I remember, it was like Crisis on something, and the thing that they're doing without really doing it is I'm sorry, Earth 3. Who are the Crime Syndicate?
Oh. They're doing the Crime Syndicate? No, they're not.
But the problem is like they're doing the Crime Syndicate, but they're not doing the Crime Syndicate because they can't. They're not doing Owlman, and they can't do Owlman, and they. So basically, I guess they're just doing. Was it Johnny Storm?
You mean Johnny Quick?
Johnny Quick, that's what it is.
Oh, that. So okay, for anybody that doesn't know, we're my favorite. I think I've talked about this before. Favorite character in the DC universe is Owlman. And Owlman comes from Earth 3. I actually have the first appearance. It's Justice League of America number 29, and then 30, they're all on the cover, but their first appearance in the Crime Syndicate is 29. And they actually got that wrong once in like a DC there was like an ad for like, oh, if you wanted, when they were doing Forever Evil, they had the Crime Syndicate in. They're like, oh, here are the first appearances, and I was like, no, you guys are wrong. I almost wrote them a letter. I was like, you got the issues messed up.
I'm very angry.
I'm very angry. You got the origin of Owlman wrong. But anyways, yeah, I have both issues. The cover is awesome on number 30 because they're all fighting each other, and it's everybody's counterpart. So like, they kind of did this with who's the new Green Lantern? Jessica Cruz. Yes. So Power Ring was the Crime Syndicate version of Green Lantern, and it was like the ring controlled you, and you were like a weak piece of shit, but you had this awesome power ring, and you were like really down in the dumps and depressed about yourself. They did that with Jessica Cruz, and you have Johnny Quick, who it was really messed up. He was almost like a heroin addict, and like he had to take more and more of this drug to get faster, and he was like addicted to it. So that was Johnny Quick. It was all like terrible versions of everyone. There was Ultraman, who was the Superman's counterpart, who like he ate kryptonite, I think.
Oh, he was my favorite because there's literally a scene in Forever Evil where he snorts kryptonite. Like he smashes it down to a powder and he snorts it. And I was like, what the fuck is going
doesn't
on
give a
right
shit.
now?
So Wonder Woman is it Power? Not Power Woman.
I think it's just Superwoman.
Superwoman, yeah, you're right, and that's actually Lois Lane. And then obviously the Predator to Bats is Owls, so Owlman exists. There's a really good Grant Morrison, Frank Quitely trade about, and it's called Earth 2, but it's like it's not it's actually, it gets confusing because the title of that trade is called Earth 2, but it's in the sense like there's another Earth, not in the sense of like numbers.
Yeah.
So, yeah, but anyways, so apparently they're going to do it on the Arrowverse crossover.
Yeah, so that's what we're getting at.
Yeah, and, back bring it all together.
So they're bringing the Ray into that universe is basically what it is, and I guess
the Ray is like not.
Yeah, you know how they did.
He's not that.
I don't know my DC like B-list, C-list character.
Yeah.
But
he's like.
Was it Vixen that they did the cartoon about?
Yeah, Vixen was. Yep.
Yeah, so they're gonna do a cartoon about Ray too, and he's gonna play the voice and then play the live action version.
I don't really know much about Ray. I wonder if they're gonna do something like him related to the Legion of Superheroes or something like that.
Probably.
Because I heard. Well, I was listening to Kevin Smith's podcast, and they're doing the Legion of Superheroes on Supergirl this year.
That'd be great.
Yeah. So I realized I never finished the Supergirl show, and I just finished it last night on Netflix, the last 2 episodes. Mm-hmm. And it was pretty awesome. Like, Superman got poisoned. So I think they could do Ultraman. I mean, they have an actor for Superman. Superman got poisoned with it was like silver kryptonite, and then him and Supergirl just like for like 5 minutes were just punching each other in the face. It was awesome. So epic. Yeah. And like there's all these explosions happening in the background. Like, this is fucking awesome. Yeah.
Actually, I always forget about Supergirl when we're talking about the Arrowverse. So yeah, you're right. Yeah. They could do Ultraman. It would be Owlman. That would be the real difficulty there. And then obviously Superman.
Yeah,
but you could just make Superwoman, Supergirl, and
I'm guessing they would just replace Owlman with like an evil version of Arrow. What would you call an evil? Like, you can't call him Bullseye because that's a Marvel character.
What's an evil color? Black Arrow.
Or like black Quiver. I don't know.
Oh yeah, call him Quiver because it like goes two ways. Like it's the arrow quiver, and it's just like you need to quiver when I'm around.
Yeah, but if he says that's not very intimidating. Why aren't you quivering?
No, he'll just look at me in the eyes and be like, "I will make you quiver."
And God!
I'll laugh my ass off, and it'll be great.
There's got to be a better name for that. I don't know. Because like Ultraman, they're all really good names. Well, yeah. I guess they didn't really try for Owlman though. But like, in the original Owlman, he just had like an owl head on his head. It was really bad.
Yeah, the original.
It was really bad.
Yeah.
With a cape. Anyways, well, I'm excited for that. I didn't know that was going to be the premise of the crossover. I missed that somewhere. All right. So we got a first look at the Runaways show, which was a Marvel book. Did you ever read Runaways?
No.
Okay, so that's all we have to say about that. Yeah, so Runaways is going to be a TV show on Hulu, which immediately makes me not want to watch it. So,
yeah, I thought it was worth mentioning just because it's a comic book show. But yeah, I mean, like the Runaways were never my bag.
Yeah,
they are a big deal.
I'm sure people love them. I'm sure they have a fan base.
Oh, I'm sure they have a huge fan base, and I've actually wanted to read 2 of the trades because Joss Whedon did a run on them, and so did Brian K. Vaughan. And I mean, those are 2 okay writers.
Yeah, they're up and coming writers.
Yeah, but I mean, I saw the images, and I don't know. It's like a high school thing, and that's not my bag anymore. So we'll see. I'll give it a shot because it's a Marvel thing. Just like I just bought the first 2 episodes of Inhumans. Like I'm gonna try it.
Yeah, I heard such bad things about it.
Yeah, but so we'll see. But it looks good. I guess. I mean,
so you can review Inhumans. Like I've heard people talk about. I've read some shit about it. I'm not watching it. I can't invest in it. I don't have the. I love Black Bolt, but I just can't do it.
Well, let me put it this way: if it was, I don't know who's. If it was a New Gods show, because
hell yeah,
as we all know, the New Gods are the Inhumans of the DC universe.
Even if it was a piece of shit show, yeah, I'd still watch it.
Yeah, and it was getting these reviews. Like you would have been like me, you would have been sitting there considering, like sitting at your phone, going.
Well, that's why you only bought the first 2
IMAX
episodes.
show. Do I want to do it?
That's why you only bought the first 2 episodes, right?
Well, yeah, because it was a 2-hour. Preview or premiere.
Are you watching all your shows like you're just buying them on Amazon now?
Pretty much, because we're just streaming everything. We don't even have cable.
Yeah. Fuck cable.
Except we have made you'll be happy to know, me and the missus have made a vow, and we're going to try to keep up with Arrowverse.
Oh, snap.
They do all go to the CW app after they air.
Like right after?
Yeah, so we were like, okay, so we can still watch them as they come out. And since we're both caught up, and we decided to do it. It's easier for her because she only watches the 2. Or no.
Yeah.
She watches all but Supergirl now. I forgot, but yeah.
She should watch Supergirl.
Tone.
Anyways, yeah, so the Humans got terrible reviews, but hey, check it out for yourself.
I always go for myself because everybody hates Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. and I love Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. I think it's a good show.
Speaking of shows, Rick and Morty season finale is already next week.
Really?
Yeah, already. But
Damn.
The last few episodes have been amazing. I don't even know how many episodes I've watched since our last podcast episode, but they had so much good shit. I'm loving it. People are like, it's not as good as the first or second season. I'm like, whatever. I'm still loving it. Give me like 12 seasons. I don't even care. Just bring it on. That's my little quip about Rick and Morty. So, Batman 66. Chris is finally caught up. Months later.
Yeah, I finally had time to watch things.
Let me look up this episode really quick because it's been watched it. I don't even remember the numbers. You remember?
What was that?
You remember the episode numbers that we watched?
I think it was 9 and 10.
At 9 and 10, you're right. Yeah. Zelda the Great.
And then a Fate or Death Worse Than Fate.
Yeah, Zelda the Great and Death Worse Than Fate.
So I want to be real with you right now. Like this is the first time where I think that these episodes were legitimately bad.
Yeah, they're awful. And so we'll talk about
the second episode. I don't remember that well because I kind of snoozed off in the middle of it.
Yeah, that was me too. So basically, Zelda is like there's no costume involved. She's like a magician, and she's kind of like in debt to this like older fat magician. So every year she steals exactly $100,000 from a bank. to basically like pay her way to get like either new tricks that'll be, I don't know, that'll have her make more money. It's a really complicated plan.
Yeah, and like she has to steal is like $100,000, which is a lot of money in the '60s. I mean, it's a lot of money right now, but it's even more money in the '60s.
Yeah,
and just what was it like? It was April 1st that she stole it.
Yeah, April Fool's Day she would do it.
Really fucking weird. I don't know. I thought I thought she was a bad villain.
But like,
too.
I think like by episode 10, she kind of she pays him the $100,000. He gives her like a new prop for her show, and it's like this box that you can't escape out of. And she's like, "Well, how do you escape out of it?" And he's like, "Well, that's the trick. You have to lock up Batman and Robin, so then we can figure out how to escape out of it." Because they don't actually know how to escape out of the box. And at this point of the show, I'm just like, it must have been like a bye week for the last couple weeks. I don't know. It was bad.
So
I don't even know. Is there a Bat Gadget? I can't remember.
There was like no Bat Gadgets. I guess
no Bat Gadgets
thing to like my gadget of the week is that probably the Batarang would be the gadget of the week.
Yeah, which is like we've seen that.
Yeah, but it's less like it's the way it was used in this episode, because he didn't like, you know how Batman like throws the Batarang with kind of elegancy.
Yeah.
It felt like he just took a cell phone and just like chucked it at somebody.
Did he hit someone with it? Right?
Yeah, I think he hit Zelda with it.
Yeah, like in the head or something.
And it was really, really fucking weird. But this did have one thing that's worth it, and that is that my favorite Robin line of all time is in this episode.
Oh yeah.
And that's when she disappears, he goes, "Holy hole in the donut, Batman." And it makes no goddamn sense, and I love it.
Holy hole in the donut. Oh man.
I had that as my ringtone for my text tone for a long time. No joke.
Really?
Yeah.
That is great. Holy hole in the donut. That a lot of his sayings don't make any sense, but like back then they were like, "Oh, the fractured youth, you kids and your sayings."
They're usually at least somewhat like
holy hostages. That makes sense because they're like saving people.
But this had nothing to do. Like she literally like just like disappeared, and he's holy hole. Like what?
Is he saying like the holes in the donuts are missing? I don't know. Maybe they didn't have munchkins back in the '60s. They just got rid of the holes in the donuts. We'll have to ask someone from the '60s. I don't know.
I know what you're talking about now. When you said munchkins, I was like, we're getting
because that's what they do with the holes in the donuts now. They turn
here.
they turn them into munchkins now. You know,
see, you're outside of New York. They're Timbits over here.
Oh, yeah. We don't call them that. The hell, weirdo. Anyways, that was '60s Batman. Really disappointing.
But the next episode is Joker again. So
yeah. So which is like those are like the best episodes.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to that.
All right, let's talk comics. We're here. Chris can go to bed soon. Avengers is going weekly. What?
Yeah. So all the Avengers books are going to come together and
come together. Wait, really? Like the Justice League trailer? Anyways,
probably actually. No, but they're all going to come. All the writers are going to come together, and they're going to make one book. It's going to be one Avengers book, and it's going to be weekly. So the U.S. Avengers, the Uncanny Avengers, the Avengers.
Thank God.
The Super Duper Avengers. I mean, I don't know what other Avengers are. And yeah, they're going to do a weekly book in 2018, and I don't know. I see Mark Waid is helming this whole thing. So that's the only reason I'm checking it out. Is because I love Mark Waid's run so far. And I look forward to his next issue next week.
Yeah, if he's orchestrating it, then I'm sure it'll be fine.
Yeah.
Also, I need to see Avengers. They're not going to fuck that up.
Yeah, you would think so.
Yeah, that's what we thought with Batman Eternal, right?
Yeah, right.
Oh, man. When that went to weekly, and I think I made it to like issue 40, and I was like, I can't pay for this every week. This is melting my brain.
So... After that, we're going to kind of go into what we're reading, but I want to start with Marvel Legacy.
Yeah.
And we're going to go wholehearted spoilers on this. So Marvel Legacy came out. I got the original cover. I also got a Scotty Young cover.
Oh, yeah. Look at that.
That's pretty.
Scotty Young.
That's a wall cover right there.
Yep.
So we start off with the Avengers in 1 million BC, and
1 million BC.
1 million BC.
So that means really long ago, right? Yeah.
So we're talking Stone Age here, and it's Odin, and it's Odin before he's like really Odin. He has the hammer of Thor. Phoenix Force is on the team. Ghost Rider is there, and he has a woolly.
What is he riding?
He rides.
He has a what?
A woolly mammoth.
Oh man!
Fucking fantastic.
Is the woolly mammoth like on fire?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Holy
dude!
Fuck.
Google an image of it. It's fantastic.
Oh man!
The promo image they put out.
Dude, someone gets me right now.
There is a Black Panther, which okay. First, I find this hilarious. We're in 1 million BC. There's no like humans.
Yeah.
It's all like cavemen, but there's a Black Panther, and he's like very sophisticated. But then Starbrand is a caveman, and he just speaks in grunts.
Dude, I'm looking at a picture of Ghost Rider on top of a flaming woolly mammoth. What?
Is it fantastic or not?
Oh my god! Is this like so? Is this just a one shot they're doing with these people?
Think of this as DC Rebirth.
Okay.
For Marvel.
Yep.
And then we have, we do have an Iron Fist, and it's a woman. I'm like 99% sure it's a woman.
Yeah, I see. Yep, definitely is. I'm looking at a picture of all of them right now.
And instead of Doctor Strange, we have Agamotto.
Oh, makes sense.
Yeah. So basically, a Celestial has come to Earth and is doing something to Earth, and they have to defend it. And that's kind of where the story goes from there, is them fighting the Celestial. And it loops back around to modern time, where the current Ghost Rider is having dreams of this moment and remembering that it happened. And same with Starbrand.
Like him, he's having a dream about riding a mammoth.
Yes.
Man, that's my dream.
And Starbrand is having the same visions, and they kind of get into a fight because something happened there that where they aren't getting along. So that's kind of the whole the story as a whole. But then there's these little backstories that are setting up different storylines to go forward in Marvel, and some huge spoilers come up in here. So once again, I'm warning, huge spoilers on this. So we get Loki and a bunch of frost giants. And what's hilarious is they call them frost giants, but like Loki, they're normal sized. So they're very small frost giants.
Oh.
And they attack a old S.H.I.E.L.D. facility. Now, if those who don't know, S.H.I.E.L.D. has been disbanded after Secret Empire. And so there's a huge fight that goes down, and these frost giants get away, and we find out that they have a Infinity Stone in there. So there's going to be something going on with the Infinity Stones again. We get a little backstory of like what Captain America is doing, what Steve is doing, and he's going across the United States trying to find himself again, figure out what he's doing with himself. That's a really quick one. We get an image of Asgard and some of what's going on there, and it's look kind of the same. We do get kind of clues as to the death of the mighty Thor. And lots of fighting. We get a setup for the new Deadpool book, which everyone knows I'm not a huge Deadpool fan, but Deadpool is kind of, it seems like they're taking kind of a dark twist with Deadpool, because he's killed Coulson, and now he's kind of sitting there trying to figure himself out, and he has a few jokes, but it's like his scenes are extremely dark. And I don't know if that's how Deadpool's going or if it's just for this book. But it seems like he's going to be kind of on the run in the future books. We get an image of Norman Osborn. He's up to no good. There is an Avengers Mansion again. That happens. But the big spoilers here are the fact that Jean Grey is back as Phoenix. The original Jean Grey, not the one from the past that we have been seeing. And we also run into Wolverine, who has been dead for the better part of 3 years. So something is bringing these characters back, and the thought is it's the Celestial that the 1 million BC Avengers fought and buried under the earth. Because we kind of end the book with him in the cave, and then not only does Loki find the Infinity Stone, but then Logan has an Infinity Stone, and we see Gamora talking about Infinity Stones. So, long story short, these characters are back. The Infinity Stones are playing some role in the Marvel Universe, and this all leads to a certain group of characters trying to find their way back into the fold.
So basically, like what I've taken from this, because I've kind of lost here now, is
okay.
They brought like Wolverine back and everyone, and somehow the Infinity Stones are related.
Yes, and this has led to a certain family that has not been in comics for a few years now.
Oh,
heading back to the original, to the 616 verse.
So they're stuck outside. You're talking about the Fantastic Four, I
am talking about the Fantastic Four.
Okay.
Specifically, that's good. I'm talking about the Richards.
Back. Yeah, the Richards are back.
So we see Valerie and what's her brother's name? Franklin Richard on their ships. Last time we saw them at the end of Secret Wars, they were traveling the multiverse and trying to figure out what's going on and just doing their own thing as a family. And now the two kids have decided, they've seen what's coming and decided they need to come back. So this
is Rebirth.
It is. It really is. I'm not joking when I say Marvel's Rebirth.
Like, oh man. Like, they brought all these characters back, and then, like, Wally shows up, and, like, nobody remembers who he is, and...
So, we're not... They've said that they're not doing any event books for a year and a half, I think it was. 2 years.
Yeah.
So, my prediction is that at the end of... Let's just say it's 2 years, because I can't remember exactly. At the end of 2 years, they're going to announce Marvel's Doomsday Clock.
Yep, exactly.
And it's going to be Infinity Gauntlet. And Infinity Gauntlet's going to bring back the Fantastic Four.
Yeah, I think you pretty much got it.
But if you're a Marvel fan, it's a must read.
Yeah, it's pretty cool for Marvel fans.
Everything that's starting next week is in this book.
Awesome. Well, Wolverine's back. They actually kept him down for what, like 2 years? Has it been?
Almost 3.
Almost 3. Wow.
So
that's pretty crazy. That's the craziest part to me.
Me and our friend Craig, our retailer, had this conversation, and we're trying to figure out who's the character that's been dead the longest that isn't that's a main character that's had an ongoing book. So this doesn't count. Bucky Barnes doesn't count. Uncle Ben doesn't count. It has to be a character that's had a long-running solo book, died, and then came back. So, and somebody email me if I'm wrong, but I think it's got to be Barry Allen.
Yeah. I don't know. Well, he wasn't gone for 3 years, though, was he?
Barry?
Yeah.
He was gone for over 20.
Was he?
Died in Infinite Crisis. Came back after... Or no, I'm sorry. Died in Crisis of Infinite Earths.
Yeah.
Came back at Infinite Crisis in the 2000s. So
wow, he was gone for that long? Holy crap.
Yeah, and Wally was the Flash that whole time.
That's right. Yeah, you might be right.
Everybody else is a couple years.
But it's so crazy because Flash wasn't mainstream until the show came out, and then it's crazy. It's crazy to me to think that
based on Jeff Johns bringing him back during Infinite Crisis.
Yeah. It's crazy to think that when Flash left, that he wasn't as popular as he is today with the show. The show is fantastic, and it puts a personality on Barry Allen that people are like, Matt, wow, I really love this character. That's crazy to me. Yeah. Wow.
I would love to know if I'm wrong, though. If someone out there knows better, I'm pretty sure I'm it. But
Yeah, they would never do that now, though. Oh my god, people would lose their shit.
Like we were saying, the Wolverine thing, the fact that he's been dead for 3 years.
Yeah.
Even though there's a Wolverine in the Marvel Universe. But
yeah, it kind of doesn't count, I guess.
But the fact that he's been dead for 3 years is actually impressive.
Yeah. All right. So what have I read last couple weeks? I'm a little behind on Shirtless Bear Fighter, but that book is amazing. All the metal tie-ins have been awesome.
So you want to start at Red Death?
Yeah. So Red Death, man. So basically, the metal event's happening right now, and the first one was a Red Death, where we find out like, Bruce is like fighting with Barry in the Dark Universe to steal the Speed Force, so he can go back and like save his family finally. And he's like saying that Barry's selfish because he uses it for himself and all this stuff. So basically, he kills Barry Allen, steals the Speed Force, and that's the evil Flash Batman that we see in Metal, and it's so awesome. He's almost like the Black Racer, but it was fantastic. That's basically what the issue was. It was like, him showing up and the origin of it.
Yeah, Captain Cold Batman was fantastic.
Yeah, Captain Cold Batman was even better. Yeah, so it was him, like, it was Batman. Yeah, so when Batman was fighting Barry Allen, he had gadgets from each of the rogues. That's right.
Yeah.
Right?
And he jumped in the mirror at one point. Like, that was
he jumped in the mirror. Oh, my God. He had all the rogues. I forgot about that. He had all the rogues, like, abilities. So he had the Mirror Master ability. He had the cold gun.
It was such a great moment because it was, like, it reminded me how much I love the rogues and how I, like, only want Barry to fight the rogues. But, yeah, because, like, it was a moment of, what if the rogues were one person and, like, super intelligent instead of petty thieves?
It's so terrible at their job. Yeah. In their defense, they're not there to fight Barry. They're usually just there to steal things and then just get their asses kicked by Barry.
Yeah. And then Murder Machine came out this week.
Yeah, Murder Machine, which was like, it was a little, dark, but yeah. Basically, that's the part of it's the part where, like, or the Dark Universe that Alfred dies, and I'm sensing a pattern, first of all, with these stories. It's like where Batman goes to one of the Justice Leaguers and they, like, disappoint him or let him down, and he asks for their help and ends up, like, killing them. But yeah, so Alfred gets killed and, like, trying to defend Bruce or trying to defend Batman, and so, like, he's really down and out, and he kind of he talks about how Cyborg was rebuilt, so he wants, like, Cyborg to help him create, like, an AI with Alfred, and the AI gets out of control and just wants to protect Bruce all the time, so he goes out and kills all the Batman villains, and then basically comes back to Earth, like, the Dark Universe. So he's like a cyborg Batman, but then he has this AI that can kind of, like, materialize and do whatever he wants.
He's probably, we've only had 2 so far, but he's extremely fucked up. Like, there's no...
Yeah.
He's so powerful. It's unbelievable.
Yeah, like, I don't even know how you would kill this guy because he just does... Like, he just destroys Cyborg. And they kind of destroy Cyborg and, like, well, it's a good thing that he didn't know he had the power to... Like, they kind of said that Cyborg was, like, the one that could destroy all of them. So he's... Something about the metal that Cyborg can manipulate is... It's going to be a key factor here. Like, he's going to be the savior of this. Yeah. Like, he's going to be the reason they defeat them.
Can we also talk about the fact that I feel like in every DC event, Cyborg just gets dismantled and destroyed?
Yeah. They really, he's like turning into the Yamcha of the DC universe.
It's really fun.
I'm sure I'm thinking he's going to make his debut and come back, and then he'll get his own, like, I don't know. It'll be right before his movie. Yeah. So those are those 2 issues. Batman 31, they finished the war of jokes and riddles, where Kite Man kind of redeems himself. Yeah, so they're attacking like Joker, and he's on this high rise, and they need to get to the high rise. So, of course, they have Kite Man make kites for everybody, and like he makes hang gliders for everyone, and so he gives Killer Croc a hang glider, and he's like, what? And so he's like, I think I'm too big or too heavy. He's like, no, you just need a bigger kite, and he like gives. So Killer Croc is like flying on a hang glider. It's awesome.
I need Tom King a hug.
Yeah, and then he ends up working with Batman to where he like attached all the hang gliders with parachutes that like ejected everybody out of the building. It was awesome. It was really cool. Superman was pretty cool too. Superman 31. Basically, Lois Lane's going around. She wants to interview Deathstroke, and like she's wondering like why he does what he does. Like, is there a reason that he goes around killing people? Like, there's got to be more to this man than she thinks. She interviews him, and they talk about how like Superman and Deathstroke have fought before, and he kind of like puts two and two together that Superman loves Lois Lane. So at the end of the issue, he comes back to Metropolis, and he finds her, and he says, "You're my next target." And like Clark is like FaceTiming with her when it happens. So that's how the issue ends.
I should probably read that.
Yeah, and then Saga 47. That was a really good issue. We get a new character who's torturing the Will. We haven't seen the Will in a while. I forgot about him. He's one of like the bounty hunters.
Yeah.
So basically, she's going through his memories because the Will killed this girl's boyfriend back in the day, and now she's like torturing him, going through his memories and like finding people that he like. She has a device that lets him connect his memories to a TV so she can watch him, and then be like, "Oh, okay, you love this person. I'm gonna go kill them. Oh, okay, you love this person. I'm gonna kill them." Well, while she's searching in the memories, she finds out about Hazel and the two people having the kid that aren't supposed to have a kid. So then she says, "Okay, well, we're gonna go find them, and I could be rich beyond my years if I, turn this kid over." Yeah. It was a cool issue.
It wasn't my favorite issue. It was like kind of a downer issue.
Yeah, it was kind of downer. I think it was filler, but it was also a story that you needed to.
Yeah, I was gonna say it felt like a filler. It felt like Gohan and the island full of kids, but at the same time, I feel like it'll actually it's going to come back and be relevant. So necessary, but not the best issue.
Yeah. And then we got 2 Batman books coming out next week. We got The White Knight, which is going to be drawn by what's his name? Yeah, Sean Murphy, fantastic. And then we get another Metal tie-in.
Yeah. So,
what do you got?
I did read Invincible 140.
Mm-hmm.
It's really good. It's a lot of punching.
Yes.
And I mean, I won't go too far because Mike hasn't read it. We'll talk more about it next week. But it really, really good. And the ending, it's going to be interesting to see where it goes. What else do I got? Oh, so they made a Wolfenstein comic. So Wolfenstein #1.
Oh, that's awesome! It's really like the video game.
Yeah, it's like a double-sized issue. It's really good. It takes place after the first game, the most recent of the games, and it's really funny because they go into this. They show different things that the Nazis are doing in America, and then the end is kind of you meet up with B.J. Blazkowicz, and he has to fake being a German soldier. And they kind of explain the fact that he just doesn't talk that much. And it's just, it's really stupid. Like, he's sitting there and they come up to a German soldier and he starts asking questions. And the guy's just like, yeah, he doesn't talk much. I'll talk for him. And it's because he speaks English and nothing else.
Yeah.
And so he just pretends to be a mute all the time. But
that's awesome.
It's really cool. It has a lot of really cool, like, what if, the Nazis won the war kind of vibes. I know it's been going around a lot recently, but it's still a lot of fun as a story trope. I got Scooby Apocalypse #17. Now, I don't as much want to talk about Scooby Apocalypse because Scooby Apocalypse has been what it is. But the backstory for Scooby Apocalypse is my favorite Hanna-Barbera cartoon of all time, Secret Squirrel.
Oh, man. What?
Yeah.
That is awesome.
It's so good. It's they turned Secret Squirrel into basically James Bond. He's like a womanizer.
Oh, no. That's awesome.
There's also, like, he has to team up with an old fling of his, and he has it in his head that he, like, broke her heart.
That's not the case.
Yeah, and, like, everyone in the background is kind of like, yeah, he kind of, like, believes what he wants to believe.
Yeah.
Just let him do what he really great. I'm actually looking forward more to that than the actual Scooby book the next issue.
Yeah, that's great.
The new Action Comics 988, the Oz Effect Part 2. It's good. Woo, woo.
Oh man, lenticular covers.
I love them lenticular covers. So it explains how Jor-El got to Earth and why he is doing what he's doing. And basically, something happened. They don't 100% explain it because he's flying away from Krypton after it blows up, and something takes him away. So I'm assuming it's Dr. Manhattan. And he's brought into the middle of Africa, of all places, and kind of caught in the middle of this civil war where this gang leader is just terrorizing the people. So he got the exact opposite treatment that Clark did, and thinks the world is just fucked up. And after that whole incident and he realizes his powers, he gets sucked away again by the same person, and all they do is show him the horrors of the world. So they're showing him World War II, the atomic bomb, Vietnam, the Crusades, so on and so forth. Just anything terrible that's happened on this earth caused by man, he's been shown. Mm-hmm. So his assumption of Earth is that it's not worthy of his son. And it ends with him saying, like, I've taken you away from these people. They don't deserve you.
Damn.
Loving Action Comics, especially the addition of Jor-El. Like, we said it when it first happened. Adding him as a character was such a great idea. We don't need. Oh, I hit my. We'll do that last. Dark Ark #1, another Cullen Bunn book. So these next two books, I'm really pushing towards you, Mike, because you will love both of them. Dark Ark is the idea of. So the flood happens and Noah makes his ark, but there's somebody else out there that is being controlled by Satan.
Oh shit!
Who is also told to build an ark.
Oh man!
But his ark is full of all the mystical creatures of the world. So it's
dragons? Are there fucking dragons? Yes.
Frost giants, vampires, unicorns.
Gotta save those vampires.
Yeah, and like anything you can imagine. It's so fucking good. And they're told not to interfere with Noah because they could all go and just annihilate Noah right now and kill his entire ark. But they're all told, like, you can't do that. If you do that, we're doomed. We have to let them thrive so that we can feed off them later on.
Yeah.
Dude, it's so good. I absolutely love this book. I recommend anybody picks it up.
Unicorns are evil?
They're mystical, so they're evil.
Okay.
Damn. Oh my god, so good. I want to reread it now.
Is that an Image book?
No, it's so Colin Buzz's been doing these books for Aftershock.
Oh, okay.
Aftershock is a really great up and coming indie publisher. If you remember me talking about Unholy Grail, it's the same people that print that. This is an Image book. This is The Realm #1.
I think I got that. I haven't read it yet. I'm not sure.
I really like this book. It's so basically 15 years ago, all the mystical creatures, so dragons, stuff of Lord of the Rings,
dragons,
come to this realm, and have caused there to be a apocalypse, and now people have to live within that realm. And our character is kind of a gun for hire. He picks people up or helps people go from place to place and can just go across the realm however he sees fit and helps people do it. And it's the mix of post-apocalyptic with fantasy, So you've got people with guns fighting people with swords. You got dragons flying around. It's once again, it's so great. Art is fantastic. They really build up the lead character. I wouldn't say it's the best issue, but it's a great issue to introduce you to the world, the people, and what's going on. And I really can't wait for the next one.
That's awesome.
And he has some weird Satan arm.
Like Hellboy?
There's something going on that. He's been infected with something. And I'm going with a Kickstarter book. This is I think it's Polybius Dream or Polybus.
Polybius.
Yeah, I'm bad with words.
Sure.
So this was a local guy from Buffalo. And the idea of this book is that there's a arcade cabinet that would suck you in and eventually kill you.
Oh, shit.
Yeah. So this is the first issue. It's a lot of introducing you, because it takes place in 1986. It's introducing you to the 80s, the arcade scene, who the kids that were back then that were playing video games. So the super nerds.
Oh yeah.
What it was like to be inside of an arcade, and if I remember correctly, it's been a little bit since I've read it. Yeah, so all the kids get to play it, and then they kind of get sucked into this nightmare. And that's kind of where it ends. We don't really know what's happening, or what's going on, except for the fact that one of the bullies that bullied one of the kids is now been hung.
Oh.
Really cool indie book. I think they're starting the issue 2 Kickstarter here soon.
Nice.
And I really liked it. So yeah, some good books this week.
Sweet. Awesome.
That's everything for me.
It's all of it for me too.
So Mike, where can people find you?
Hey, Ricker62 on Instagram. Hey, we got a lot of downloads coming in, and we want to thank you all for that, for listening to us. If you would, you could subscribe, give us a little review. I know you don't. I know you're busy people. We're busy too. I would appreciate a review for Chris's birthday. We'd appreciate a review. If you could just say all you gotta do is say happy birthday in the review. Just give him 5 stars. I think that would be the best thing. Yeah, it would help us get some publicity there. But anyways.
So based on the fact that we're about to round up on 50, I think we need to get a giveaway together.
Yeah, we're gonna do it. The first one it didn't go so well, so
yeah. But
the guy won, and he didn't want. I don't know. He never talked to us about getting this stuff. So
yeah, emailed him multiple times. So yeah, well, and assuming we don't miss any episodes, which we will,
yeah.
We should be hitting 50 mid-December. So, assuming we don't miss any, and episode 50 isn't a Christmas week episode where we're doing our best of the year stuff, we're going to do a giveaway. If not, we will do one at the beginning of next year. But you can find me at Fortress Chris on Twitter and Fortress News Chris on Instagram. And remember to go to the website, fortresscomicnews.com. And see all the cool stuff there. And thanks for watching, everybody.
See ya.
The cursor.